Oh, hi. Yeah, this is definitely not my mushroom island. We'll have to talk about that. But right now, let me distract you with this brand new world and a brand new start to my 120 hardcore Minecraft adventure. Also, where am I? Yeah, I can do something with this. Hi! You found my new hardcore world on day 0, and I still have nothing. I have no armor, no elytra, no house. I haven't even punched a tree yet. Let's go punch a tree and see what the first 100 days brings. So maybe you're wondering what happened to my old world. Well, I've been running 2 concurrent hardcore worlds for the better part of 10 months, and without getting into too much detail, that isn't fun. So I want Minecraft to be interesting and fun, and I'm going to build a world I can be proud of, and you're hopefully going to join me on this adventure. I'm putting serious stakes in this world, and only one rule. I'm not allowed to delete, quit, or stop this series until I see the game over screen. Which we almost just did. I'm going to build some of the most overpowered farms to allow me to world build and create an epic fantasy landscape unlike anything I've ever done before. Let's get into this. Day 0 starts pretty much how it had to. Lock up the local villagers, steal their food, take the food they graciously allowed me to have, borrow my first bed. I do like to lock up as many villagers as I can. Not only am I keeping them safe from zombies, but it feels good knowing I'm not the weakest or dumbest thing in this new world. One cherry boat later, and I'm headed over to another local village. These guys are fighting for the privilege of my protection. See, I'm not evil. Yet. I decided to make this church my temporary home. It needed serious renovations just to walk into the front door. You've already seen the thumbnail, so you know I'm not living in this pile of cobblestone for very long. But as day 0 came to an end, it did give us a nice view of the town. After planting my first sugarcane, I got some much needed rest. This protection racket is exhausting. Early on day 1, I collected farm animals, starting with these chickens. And yes, the second day of Minecraft is always day 1. I don't make the rules. I expanded my sugarcane plot and cleaned up the village. Yep, your boy touches grass. Chickens are okay XP, but cows are much better food, so I lured them into this pen, then grabbed some sheep. My first adventure took me up the hill, and when I look back, well, this valley's gonna look amazing soon. I'm still running around like a day 0 noob out here, so it's time to get armor and tools. Then I spotted this stony peaks. 3, 2, 1, let's go. I raided a local savannah village, and you'll be happy to know not one villager was trapped. I even left them the white bed and traded for my orange one. Bamboo's now a wood type in Minecraft and one that grows incredibly quickly, so I nabbed some of this. Let's head home and get it planted. I'll turn the bamboo into sticks and sell those for early game emeralds and then level up other villagers. My next priority was blocks to build with. At the moment I have nothing. I can't build a whole lot with no blocks, so I dug myself a mine shaft all the way down to this. I did look for a second, but this is not a day 2 kind of thing, so I went back to work. Hi, will you be my Fletcher? After seeing that ancient city just below my village, I bought 2 bows. We're gonna set up a quick sheep farm and get all the wool we could want before exploring down there. I also asked this guy to be my cleric so I could buy redstone. It'll be almost zero shock to anyone who knows me that I'm gonna build ENX04's sheep farm here. I love his farms for early game and even a bit later sometimes. This one's ridiculously simple and will generate more than 50 stacks of wool during this video alone. I'll also get to use the new cherry leaves. I need quite a bit of this sand for glass. I'm glad I got that coal earlier as well. This simple wool farm relies on a single redstone torch and 1 redstone dust to create a burnout clock that will shear the sheep with 2 dispensers that face opposite ways above. The 6 sheep per side barely get pushed into the shear's range, and it's super efficient. I also built it with basically dirt and leaves, which is nice. And this guy wouldn't shut up. A bit of water, some storage below that, and we're done here. Inside you can see the sheep eating to regain their wool and then the burnout clock firing to shear it back off. Shears and hoppers cost me most of the rest of my iron, so it was time to move on to another farm, again designed by ENX04. I love building his early game iron farm, and while I wish I had the flat space for more than one module of this will get me through for now. All the farms I use throughout the series will be linked in the description, and while most of these early game farms will be destroyed and replaced with far better options as I grow the world, I don't have the resources to build those better options yet. This farm costs a couple logs and 1 hopper. I can afford that. Do you see my mistake? I got a zombie into the farm pretty easily, but I forgot the boat. So, zombies despawn if you get too far away from them and they aren't name tagged, holding an item, or in a boat. Yeah, and he's gone. So after getting lava, I added that to the kill chamber and then thought maybe I should add the boat this time. Once again, this went fairly smoothly. Yeah, the zombie nearly punched me into the creeper. But after that little scare, I do have a working iron farm. Ta-da! With a few necessities now in place, I took my talents to the south beach, above my village, where I wanted to put a villager breeder. I have a few villagers to start with, but I'm going to want, I don't know, something like 30 more for now. I want one of each of the smiths, weaponsmith, toolsmith, armorer, and that opens up diamond tools and gear, and they trade my iron from the previous farm. I also want to move my Fletcher and Cleric and eventually set up all the librarians I'll need for things like mending, unbreaking, protection, and efficiency, and the bow enchants like Power 5 and Infinity. Add in Silk, Fortune, yeah, I just need a lot more villagers. This breeder's pretty standard logical Geek Boy design that most people use, and other than the glass, it's pretty cheap to get started. If you're unfamiliar with it, we'll put 2 villagers inside and one will be a farmer. He'll harvest the crops and share with the other villager, they'll see the trapdoors to the beds, think they can cross over, and because there's 4 beds, they want to fill it with 2 more people. So they're going to breed in here, they have infinite food, and the baby will try and sleep or jump on the bed, falling into the trapdoors. Baby villagers will then get sorted out and sent to a holding chamber where I can move them anywhere else in the world. That seems to be working now, so I need a temporary place to put these villagers. I want to build them their own villager trading hall later, but my goal today is to build myself a home. Theirs can come later. That means I need to clear a space here in this field, dig some holes that are 4 blocks deep, put the workstations at the bottom and trapdoors just above that. When the villagers go into these holes, I can easily change the workstations below them and roll whatever librarian trades I want. I'll start with around 20 of these stations, but will expand as I need. As you can see, I freed 1 villager from the breeder and he just drops himself in the first hole with no problem. I'll just cover him up like this. Then it's time to move over the Fletcher and the Cleric. When I can't move the villagers easy with workstations, I just move them with beds. This is sometimes the easiest way as it always drops them straight into the hole perfectly. Then I can start, first with the toolsmith. I have to get through the first few trades and that opens up iron. I continue that process of moving villagers, selling iron and bamboo sticks, move more villagers, and each night trying to roll librarian trades. I won't bore you with this too much as I rolled over 1,000 times to get the books I wanted, but I'll show you a few of the great prices I got throughout the trading, like Unbreaking 3 for 13 emeralds. While moving villagers and rolling trades, the iron farm keeps working away at spawn and the bamboo keeps growing, villagers keep moving, and the emeralds keep coming in. And yeah, villagers are extremely overpowered in early game Minecraft, but that's okay. This whole world is going to be extremely overpowered, so starting out strong isn't my top concern. And yes, that's Protection 4 for 18 emeralds. That's a great price. The wool farm is coming along nicely as well. I have over 15 stacks of wool already and haven't done anything since I set it up. After enough iron trades, the smiths will start selling me diamond gear, and this axe was my first piece. I don't even have diamonds yet. So I repeated this cycle every day for a while. Move in villagers, collect iron, move in more villagers, and roll more trades, including Infinity for 6, and Fortune 3 for just 16. Once I had Infinity, I tested it out by knocking this skeleton into the water, and then finishing him off for one of my favorite advancements, Sniper Duel. Looting 3 then cost me 14, and my sword is looking pretty nice now. I also leveled the farmer up to golden carrots in case I run low on food. I don't want to use golden carrots, but I wanted a backup just in case. Then I tested my looting 3 sword on these cows. That worked fine. For my main base, I want to be using cherry wood and dark oak with some spruce and lighter colors mixed in. I found this dark oak forest and brought home the sapling so I can continue to do the work there. Leveling the cleric up then gave me access to ender pearls, and now we're on our way to being able to find and defeat the ender dragon. Thorns 3, Protection 4, and a whole new group of librarian trainees was next, and they gave me Sharpness 5 and Efficiency 5, so I thought I'd better head into the nether and keep things moving along. On my way to find a lava pool, I noticed this shipwreck, and I'm glad that I looted it. I jumped into the back here and found my first armor trims in the world. Those are my first 120 armor trims, and the other end of the boat had 2 more. Eventually I found this lava pool, and my luck couldn't have been better. Okay, maybe it could. Everyone talks about their best start or the perfect start in their hardcore YouTube series. What does that mean to you? To me, it felt like I wanted to settle into my new world, build a few farms, get enough gear, and before the end of this video, my own place to call home. If you look back at my older series, I actually built my home in episode 2 of both. I fought the Ender Dragon in episodes 4 and 6. Today I'm smashing those goals. I'm doing all of that in this very first episode with a bigger and better starter base than I've ever had in any Minecraft playthrough. This is my best start. But first, I had to find a fortress. Or rather, it found me. How am I in a fortress here? I had no idea. I dug around for a bit without finding it, but eventually popped out in this corridor. This wasn't exactly close to me, but oh well. I found a blaze spawner pretty close, and after protecting myself from any falling mobs, I went to work. My infinity bow cleared out the big packs, and the looting sword did the rest. Fighting blazes early is often where people die, but with good food and decent gear already, I made quick work of them. I even remembered after a while to put the bow in my offhand so I could get the looting effect of my sword on the bow shots. Yeah, that helps a lot. Sorry, Bedrock players, I know you can't do that. Infinity is so overpowered, by the way. Brought 4 chestplate and a bit of gear later, and I was ready to go find the stronghold. I made my 10 eyes to start and threw the first. It's day 44, well past time to go to the end. Eventually the eye went down instead of up, so I parked my boat and dug straight down. I quickly found the portal room and broke the spawner, and from here, all you can do is head in. Well, let's get this part done. The Ender Dragon may be the least impressive final boss in any video game. I'm way more scared of the Enderman, so I may or may not wear a pumpkin for this fight most of the time, but either way, that's done now. I collected a few blocks and made my way straight to the outer islands. I know some people head home and regroup first, but not me. I'm here specifically for the wings. My first look at the outer end was impressive. I saw 2 cities immediately, neither of which had a ship. This one was more promising, so I got closer. I still couldn't see it here, but it's actually in this frame. Can you spot it? I couldn't, so I was getting nervous. It's this pixel right here. But at least it's there, right? From closer up, it was easier to see, and I bridged straight over with no fear. Once I get this close to wings, I'm like the Flash, and not the crappy Ezra Miller Flash either, but like a good one. This shulker immediately sent me up in the air, which could be scary. I have no wings yet, and a couple of hits could be deadly, but I pearled into the ship, so there's a roof over me now. From here, it's pretty inevitable. Alright, let's put this on. Let's also change out of this helmet. I still look pretty flippin' stupid. Alright, that's better. Okay, it is so end raiding time now. These are my first diamonds. There's some diamond gear. I love end raiding, but without many rockets, I knew I couldn't stay long. So I grabbed a bit of gear here and there, collected a couple of ender chests, killed just a few shulkers, and looted what I could in terms of gold, iron, and diamonds. I also found the Spire armor trim, my second trim type in the world, and a few more diamonds, gold, and another trim, but it was time to leave. And roll credits. And with that, we're home. I did waste 1 extra rocket here, but I really wanted to see everything from above for the first time. I really love our 2 villages and can't wait to make this area beautiful. I forgot an anvil on my trip to the end, so I couldn't add Unbreaking and Mending book or name the Freedom Flies until I got back. Now I'm in desperate need of rockets. I have plenty of sugarcane from all my chores around the base over the first 50 days, but it's time to fly, so I tamed some cats and built a very early game and super easy creeper farm. I'll replace this literally next episode, but I knew I couldn't build a better farm today, so this will have to make do. Yeah, I'm poor still. This design of dirt and mixed trapdoors is my version of shabby chic. I'm trying to make the best of every day in this world, so I moved the bamboo farm to the top of the creeper farm so I could be AFKing both at once. I also built a small tree farm platform at the AFK spot so the trees could grow while I waited. While the farm worked, I chopped and collected, passing a couple of days this way and getting enough gunpowder and wood to start thinking about my home. This spot near spawn with the cherry grove is where I want to begin building. I'll have to clear quite a lot of the cherry out first and then replant that later. So during the daytime, I would take down the cherry trees, and at night, I'd fly up to the creeper farm and AFK that while chopping spruce and dark oak up there. Early game chores never really stop, so in between we have to check the iron farm, feed the chickens and cows, and work on villager trades. I want my home to have some quartz in it, so I leveled up 2 stonemasons, and after reaching quartz I also used their initial brick trades to make some decor. The new flower pot should look nice near my front entry. I'll use a bit of calcite as well, so I picked up more of that, but no matter how much wood I chopped, stone or calcite I mined, or quartz I traded for, the one constant about this build was it was way bigger than I anticipated. I returned for more materials again and again during construction. I did adventure a bit and found this outpost, but came up empty when looking for the armor trim. Gunpowder was looking great now though, so I made some more rockets. It felt really good having enough rockets in the world and be able to fly anywhere I want. Now let's do some grindy work so we can build. Let's pick it up from here. My starter base, as you saw in the thumbnail, is going to be a 6-story high Japanese pagoda in dark oak and cherry wood with a large stone base and pink lanterns throughout it. All of spawn will actually be an East Asian themed area, not all Japanese though. I'll mix in some Chinese, Vietnamese, and Indonesian architecture as the series continues. Because it's fairly different, I think I'll put Indian style builds in a separate area. Pagodas were originally reliquaries, housing the Buddha's ashes and evolving from a simple mound of dirt in the ground to more of this watchtower look. My take on it here isn't really a traditional pagoda because of its even number of floors and modified roof sizing, but it's a bit of a fantasy flourish on the traditional design. The stone base I'm working on now was a common way to hold up and solidify a central pillar of the pagoda, but I'm keeping it here because it'll house my main storage area over the next few hundred days. Let's get this going. By the time I was a couple of stories into the build, it was day 85 and I was getting nervous about finishing. I wanted to keep this within 100 days, and I was pushing day and night to finish the build. Night, however, means a lot of this to deal with. And that's when we almost lost everything. And there are all my materials, lying on the ground. Some are gone, some are safe. I quickly slept, but it was too late. The damage was done, and now I'd be rushing even harder to get everything done within the time. You can't really see it very well in the clip, but I put my shield up at the very last split second, or that could have been much worse. I still don't have full Prot 4 armor. I decided to move everything indoors where it was a bit safer, so after putting as much into the chest as I could, I moved it quickly inside. This whole interaction cost me a full day though, as you can see the sun setting again while I work. Not only that, but some materials were lost and I'd need to farm even more. I added a front door and made the entry more secure, and then got back to work. How long was that? Well, a lot of iron piled up and I had to AFK a bit more gunpowder. Then a zombie horde chased me in the middle of the night. But all I had left was to detail the build. Some window shutters and frames, the hanging lanterns, a bit of extra window cover, and after inserting some glass and other final touches, it's looking pretty great up here. And now for a bit of landscaping. I'm going to bone meal these lilacs to get a bunch more, and then surround the stone base with lilac and sugarcane. I also added a water trench around the house and the base, so I need to fill that with water as well. And here's how my home looks with just a bit of the early landscaping done and my shaders turned on. While I was working on this project, I showed a few friends of mine how it was coming along, and while the pagoda design is mine based on work by others who've come before me, one of my friends, Dame the Dime, was helping me do some planning and suggested I put a couple of large Eastern dragon statues out front. We built in creative and chatted for a couple hours, and he built these amazing dragon statues and told me to use them, so thanks to Dame for my housewarming gift. His link will be in the description as well, and he had one of the longest hardcore worlds ever before recently starting over, so you should check him out. This is how far I got in just 100 days. I completed the wool farm, the iron farm, villager breeder, 30 villager trading hall, killed the dragon, built the creeper farm and my pagoda, plus the basis for these 2 statues. Let's finish it up and show it all off. I'm now 108 days into this world. I'm very excited for the world to come and hope you are too. If you haven't yet, please remember to subscribe and give the video a like so others can see it. Let's take a look at the final build. That's it, we did it! Thanks for joining me in this new world, and I hope to see you soon for the next one. Goodbye!